were millions and millions of people that felt heard. And that's what I'm trying to lock into. It won't change my stance, or maybe it will. I'm open to someone trying to convince me.
That Donald Trump is good for people?
If that's what you're hearing, you're missing my whole point.
I am.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living.
Well, hello, everybody. How are you doing this afternoon? We have the Young Turks that are taking a shot at Whoopi Goldberg for some pretty out-of-touch, if not downright stupid comments that she made. Everybody knows that Whoopi Goldberg monetarily is not hurting, and it is always true of these mouthpieces of the left as they try to sound like they know, in the great old Clintonish tradition, that they know your pain when they in fact have absolutely no clue what your pain is. So let's sit back and let's listen to the left eat the left, which we always enjoy here on this channel, as the Young Turks take on Whoopi Goldberg. And if you like this and some of the other stuff that I do, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me with the algorithm, and it helps me get the word out and helps me get information to you that the mainstream media might not blast out 24/7. So thank you all very much. Let's have a listen.
Do you? All right. Well, the ladies of The View are still trying to figure out what went wrong in the presidential election, with some still rejecting the idea that Democrats abandoning working class Americans certainly did not help their cause. Definitely hurt them in this election. What's even more interesting is how Whoopi Goldberg, someone who is worth tens of millions of dollars, views herself as a working class American. Let's take a look.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here. Okay? So I'm a working person, you know? And my kid has to feed her family, you know, and my great-granddaughter has to be fed by her family. I know it's hard out there, but I also know that there are a lot of things that we just said, no, I'm just gonna go this way.
Right.
And a lot.
From what I understand, Whoopi Goldberg makes $7 to $8 million a year doing what she does, and really, okay, if she's hurting right now, then she's completely out of touch, because if somebody that makes $78 million a year is hurting, then all the rest of us who make far less must be really having a bad time, and they wonder why Trump got elected.
A lot of that is also what happened. I love what she did. Yay. You know, we talk to people all the time who say, this is what's bothering me. But the thing that's bothering everybody should not be the thing that puts 85% of other people in danger.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
I think the 60% of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck already feel that they have been in danger.
Yeah. So, but she knows, Anna.
Right,
she knows.
right.
Now, look, does she work for a living? Yeah, she does. She's a talk show host. That's working for a living.
Super hard work.
Okay, that's what we do. And by the way, sometimes it is hard work.
No, it is hard work. Okay, we don't just come on the show and like talk out of our asses. Like
now, she has like 100 producers and one of 5 hosts. Like, I've done that kind of show before, and it's super easy. But anyway, but I'm not taking that away from her. My point is, Whoopi, you can't say like you work for a living and then I know your pain, etc., as if you're a person who isn't spectacularly wealthy. You have to at least acknowledge, look, guys, I get it. I'm wealthy and I used to be poor, but I haven't been poor in a long, long time. But you know, here's the ways that I could relate. Just be honest about it, no problem, right? But when you make it seem like you're barely getting by and you're worried about feeding your grandkids.
Come on.
Okay, I know a few people who grew up with not a lot and have a lot of money right now. And they've had a lot of money for so long that they have literally forgotten what it was like to not have the money. And it's just one of those things that happens. It's, you know, after a while, your brain kind of like coincides, it kind of subsides the memories of how bad it was, and then, you know, all the good stuff is happening around. But yeah, I know very few people that have a lot of money at this point in time who basically remember what it was like.
Come on.
No, she made it seem like she's struggling and that she has no choice but to, you know, really pick herself up every day and just head over to work, and it's like a lot of manual labor. Like the way she carried herself in that segment was ridiculous. And look, we don't know exactly how much she's worth. I want to be clear about that. There are some articles that keep citing celebrity net worth, which makes me want to pull my hair out of my head.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Guys, that's based on nothing. Like people who believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a private citizen. She's not a public employee. So her earnings are not public information, but we can put some bits and pieces of what's been reported in the past together to figure out she's not a working class American. Okay, so Goldberg was able to negotiate a salary for Sister Act 2 back in the habit between an estimated $7 million and $12 million, making Goldberg the highest paid actress in Hollywood at the time. In 2007, she joined The View as moderator and panelist alongside creator Barbara Walters, Joy Behar, Sherry Shepard, and Elizabeth Hasselbeck. In a 2016 report from Variety, Goldberg's one-year contract was estimated to be worth between $5 million and $6 million.
Yeah, you work for a living, but you're not a working class American. There's a difference.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just, look, my point is, you don't understand what it's like to be a struggling American who's concerned about their financial stability. You get what I'm saying? Like
100%. No, look, we've covered The View a lot, unfortunately. And so so the two things she said are just not remotely true. Which she's, about being a working class American. She said, Me Too. I guess maybe that's the new Me Too movement for rich people on TV. Like, oh, working class, Me Too, Me Too. Come on, guys, come on. It insults our intelligence, right? But the second thing she said near the end there, if I understood it right, was she was saying, well, we talk to people all the time that disagree. Do you? I mean, I get it that you have you have the former Trump people, et cetera, but there are now never Trumpers have flipped and are on your side, and they gently bring up some points that other people might be thinking, et cetera, and then everybody yells, et cetera. But have you really brought on like a right-wing populist to hash out the issues? No way.
Sounds like the Young Turks, really.
Hey, do you accept criticism within the Democratic Party, let's say from progressives or populists?
Oh, definitely not.
Oh my God,
definitely
no way.
Not. Yeah.
Like they're famous for telling everyone in the Democratic Party, shut up and accept Biden, accept Kamala Harris, accept Hillary Clinton.
Honestly, if you ever heard the history between Cenk Uygur and Jimmy Dore, you would understand right now just how much of a hypocrite Cenk Uygur is at this point in time. But Cenk Uygur is a hypocrite, okay? If hypocrisy were a fatal disease, Cenk Uygur would die immediately, okay? And seriously, and Anna would die right next to him. I mean, in the same breath. Seriously. When you preach the type of insanity that Cenk does, and I call it insanity because he preaches basically a semi-capitalistic type of socialism. That it is Marxism in and of itself. He's trying to do the democratic socialism thing, and it's crazy. And the thing is that even he and his nephew Hassan Piker, they still try to pull off the same kind of grift as telling you that they understand how you feel. Cenk's got so much money, he's forgotten how you feel as well, okay? He's right up there with Whoopi Goldberg at this point in time. The problem is that his grift depends on telling people what they want to hear as far as the man is crushing you, everything could be wonderful if we just, instituted whatever form of socialism that he believes is going to help save the day. And absolutely nobody's listening because, again, it's questionable whether he believes any of it because of where he stands. Now, Jimmy Dore's a different animal altogether. Jimmy Dore is also a piece of human filth. Okay, he is also a member of the Broken Clock Club, meaning he will be right at least twice a day. Now, just because he's right does not mean that A, he is on the right or in any effect correct in any of the things that he says, okay? He may be right about a certain situation, but he's coming at it from a completely incorrect angle. And this is pretty much where Cenk lives. So, him giving Whoopi Goldberg and The View crap, okay, for their political purity tests that they have, it's amazing because he's got them too.
Your head. That's mainly what The View does. So that's why it's, again, it insults our intelligence and it's just offensive, but forget offensive, it's annoying for her to say like, oh, we talk to people all the time, we're so open-minded. Come on,
Look,
Whoopi.
in fact, it seemed like The View, like we hadn't been covering The View all that much prior to the election because it got boring. It seemed like they mostly agreed on everything. But it is interesting to see how conflict has increased on that show following the outcome of the election, because Sunny Hostin especially does not want to accept that Democrats lost due to the fact that they have abandoned the working class. She's like totally in la la land about it, and so is Whoopi Goldberg, but Sunny Hostin's on another level, okay? But anyway, putting that aside, I'm gonna just give you a little more information because I want to juxtapose the kind of life Whoopi Goldberg lives and what average Americans are struggling with right now. So let's go to graphic 4 here. After landing her gig on The View, Goldberg relocated back to New York City, where she bought a full floor loft in Soho for $4 million.
Me too, she knows. She knows the working class.
She sold the 2-bedroom apartment in 2010 during the economic crash, of course, for just under $3 million, so she lost there. But in a search for more privacy, she moved to the New Jersey suburbs, purchasing a $2.8 million mansion in the gated community. Okay, so that's...
In New Jersey, $2.8 million will buy you a castle.
Okay, so that's the kind of life she's lived, okay, and has been living.
Cenk hasn't been to New Jersey recently. Alpine County, yeah. Yeah, 2.8, 6 bedrooms tops.
In the meantime, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York just came out with new data in regard to consumer debt, which is at an all-time high of $17.9 trillion, okay? Credit card balances increased by $24 billion to $1.17 trillion as a record 600 million accounts are now open. Auto loan balances rose $18 billion to $1.64 trillion. Further, student loan balances grew by $21 billion to a record $1.61 trillion. And look, people are taking out lines of credit. They're maxing out their credit cards because they are struggling, okay? And since wages aren't keeping up with inflation, that is also leading to delinquencies. So let's look at that. Delinquency rates have also edged up from the previous quarter. About 126,000 consumers had a bankruptcy notation added to their credit reports in the third quarter, just the third quarter alone. Overall, 3.5% of outstanding debt was in some stage of delinquency, up from 3.2% in the second quarter. So look, I give you guys that data because no, Whoopi, you're not in the same camp as the people who are frustrated and angry about the fact that they see less and less opportunity to build wealth in this country, and even worse, less and less opportunity to stay afloat when it comes to their personal finances.
So let me add one last thing here. Think about it. What are they most animated about, especially Sunny, but almost all of them? Racial issues, right? But they're like, oh, race matters a lot. Okay, they love identity politics. Well, because racial issues would affect them, right?
Cenk has made his money off of pimping racial issues, okay? So for him to even throw this at The View is, again, the height of hypocrisy.
But, and then liberal policies that they love, that would affect them, so they're very animated by it. But the economic issues don't affect them at all. They have to theoretically find a way to care if they look up the numbers, and maybe my granddaughter will run out of money in several, decades from now, right? I mean, they have to stretch and stretch to try to find a common bond. Since those issues are not important to them, but the other issues are, they focus on these issues instead of those.
100%, yep.
And that's the point we're making here. We're not saying like, oh, ha, they're rich, so that's bad. No, they earn their money in all different ways. I don't begrudge that, right? I'm just saying, guys, you're so out of touch with the average American.
Exactly.
And you don't know it. And that's why it feels like it almost feels like you're rubbing it in our face when you say that.
And I know they don't mean to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I do think that for people who deliver the news or discuss or analyze what's happening in the country, It's a big problem when you look at pretty much every news organization and realize.
Bring up the 5 or something like that, and Anna will have a completely opposite take as far as that's concerned. She's, again, as much of a hypocrite as Cenk is.
A lot of these people went to Ivy Leagues. A lot of these people come from affluent families. A lot of these people are totally disconnected.
So thank you all joining me today. This has been the Young Turks and Cenk Uygur taking on Whoopi Goldberg and basically rubbing her nose in the fact that, no, she has absolutely no clue as to how common people, or the vast majority of the middle class, or the vast majority of people within this country live, and and the problems that they face from day to day in paying bills and things like that. So again, it's been fun listening to the left take on itself. It's always fun listening to the left eat itself. Again, like, share, subscribe. If you do like this content, please hit that subscribe button as many times as you possibly can. And I know that's only once. So thank you all very much. Later.